Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to New Start Monday Knits here at Wildflower Wool. I am Louise, and I'm here every Monday night casting on a brand new project that you have voted for. Sometimes it is wool, sometimes it is a technique, sometimes it is a project. This week it was more hand-dyed wool. I was having so much fun knitting with some hand-dyed yarn that I did last week that I thought, let's carry on the fun because I want to keep knitting with this. So I have got this week's winning yarn we'll chat about. I have progress on last week's project. I have some needles to show you. I have some other knitting to show you and a little bit of solar dyeing that we can chat about and some Kool-Aid dyeing for the Fiber Friends Challenge. So let's get into which yarn won this week. And I'll tell you, I don't even know yet. I thought I was going to leave it as a complete surprise tonight, and I've only added up about half of the votes. So we're just going to do the other half really quickly here once we talk a little bit about the yarn. So these are the two that you had to vote for. This is the red and yellow. I think I called it red and yellow. A lot of people were nicknaming it the ketchup and mustard yarn because that is exactly what it looks like. And this one here is the yarn that was on the right, and it is the pink and the green. So let's go all over a little bit about both of these yarns before we get down to which one won. I see Jocelyn is here. I see a few more people are coming in here. Hope you guys all have got your yarn, something cool to drink. I hope you're sitting in a nice, cool spot ready to knit for the next hour along with me as I just chat about knitting. So both of these skeins started out as classic wool, the Aran colorway. So they were not a nice white color. The Aran in classic wool is really an off-white, very much off-white. Hi, Susie. So they did not start out a nice crisp white color, which will affect the shades that I've got. If you do the exact same thing with a white yarn, you'll probably get a little bit brighter colors, I would suspect. So one, um, sorry, my phone was beeping there. I'll try to move it out of the way so it doesn't vibrate on you guys. Okay, 100 grams, worsted weight, Patton's Classic Wool, 100% wool for this. For Kool-Aid, you want animal fiber. So wool or cashmere, alpaca, mohair, not acrylic, not cotton, not linen. So 100% wool. These were both done with Kool-Aid. Had two skeins. So half of this skein was done with the Tropical Punch. Gives you a really nice bright red. That has got a lot of dye in the package. It there's a lot of dye there. So whereas some are very like I give you a weaker dye bath, this one gives you a fairly strong dye bath. Hi everybody. And the yellow was pineapple. Look at the color there. It was a really nice, bright yellow. It's a really fun one. So Tropical Punch, pineapple. And I was kind of going for a ketchup and mustard look because that's what we were talking about over on the Fiber Friends podcast. Cheryl is knitting a pair of socks with some yarn that was given to her. Somebody cleaned out a knitter's stash and it got sent over to Cheryl. So that woman is probably super happy that her yarn has gone to a knitter that is going to use it up. And she had the sock yarn that was red and yellow, and she nicknamed it ketchup and mustard. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun to try and duplicate that? And I see Susie W is in the chat here, and I know she was trying to work on it, and she got pretty close too. So anyways, this one here is Strawberry Kiwi is the green. It was a fairly weak dye bath. And Peach Mango. Uh-oh. Yes, I think Peach Mango was the pinky color here. So this colorway was really pretty as well. I would like to do the peach mango. Um, I would like to dye with it again too. It was fun. So those were the ones. So 2 packages of Kool-Aid, 1 in each color for both of these skeins. I dip dyed them on the stove to really trying to get a variation in color. So this was the end that I dipped in first. Dipped it in a few times, trying to get this really saturated, and then dipped a little bit more of the skein. I tried to get a little over half done in the one color and just to try to get a lighter color as I went up the skein. So I think this turned out dye-wise pretty much exactly how I was looking for. And I did the same process with this one. So that's why you see darker color up here, which was done intentionally, and then lighter as I went up the skein. And you'll see it knit up here in a few minutes with last week's project. Okay, let me pull up quickly. So I know I went through the votes on Facebook and in the Instagram post. So I know which one is leading so far. I'm going to take a quick look at Instagram stories right now because that one is a really easy one to, there's no adding. It tells me exactly what the votes are. And then we will all know at the exact same time because as of now, I'm not entirely sure. I know which one the one that is leading by only one vote. So it was pretty close. So let's see. Oh, this is not close at all on Instagram stories, you guys. One is definitely leading, and it is not the same one. Interesting. Okay, I need 2 hands to do this here. So that means, wow, so it switched. Okay, so the winner by 10, 12 votes, something like that. Interesting. Okay. Is, you ready? Insert drum roll here. The winner, the yarn being cast on this week, just double checking, is pink and green. Look at that. Okay, this one reminds me of watermelon kind of colors. Have to say, I really like the really dark colored way. I'm not a super lover of pastel colors, but it is pretty down here too. So this is it, you guys. Winning yarn. So thank you guys for voting. Excellent, excellent voting. So, oh, Joyce, I just saw Jocelyn's comment pop up and she said, boo, the tropical punch and pineapple is clearly better. Susie said, "Oh, your mustard was really good, the ketchup not so much." Yes, so Susie was trying to do the ketchup and mustard, and you said so the mustard was really good, the red for the ketchup, not so much. I think you said was it a little bit orangey, but it still looked really pretty. I saw all your pictures and it looked great. Okay, so ketchup and mustard was leading by 1 vote between Instagram and Facebook posts. Instagram stories, this one here was the clear leader. Interesting. It's always funny how different people vote on different platforms. So this is it, you guys. So maybe I have a feeling maybe next week I hate to say the losers. We'll say the non-winning yarn from this week and last week, which was the blue mixed berry. Maybe they should go head to head next week to see which one. See if ketchup and mustard can beat out the tropical punch or the mixed berry, the blue color. Not that I'm not that I'm wanting to dance the ketchup and mustard, but I would like to see it knit up. Anyways, this is it, you guys. This is going to be fun. And this really is a really fun summery color because it does kind of have that watermelon look to it. And oh, Liz said she liked the other one. Well, a lot of people really liked this one. And this one here does look fun, really fun too. So hopefully when it's knit up, you will um, be happy and say, oh, it does look better knit up than I thought. Because, I mean, really, how can you not like this too, right? It is lovely. Oh, Liz, you voted for both losers. Well, unfortunately, somebody has to be on the unwinning end sometimes, right? But they're all pretty no matter which one. It is kind of hard, right? When you put two pretty yarns together, somebody has to not get cast on. Anyways, this is the one, you guys. Okay, I'm going to skein it up and I'm going to start it tonight, tomorrow. I know it's typically a Monday cast on. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but that's exciting. Okay, strawberry, kiwi, peach, mango. Love it. Okay. Oh, Susie, you voted for the ones that didn't get picked either. Well, oh, what can we do about that? Anyways, do you want to see last week's cast on? So, well, I'm going to show it to you. So hopefully you're saying yes. Show it to me, please. Um, uh-oh. Got. Oh, there we go. Coming in. Oh, I'm really coming untangled. Undone here. Yikes. I did have a tangled mess, that's for sure. So last week's. Oh, hey, cast on. Okay, the color, the ring light's making it really bright. So it is darker. It's more muted. That might be a little, I don't know. It's a little more muted than what it's showing up here. The yellow isn't quite this bright. But anyways, it is a really fun color. So this was, um, oh, wait. Did I get my colors mixed up? Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. You guys, lemon lime. I am sorry. I got my colors, I think, mixed up here. Strawberry kiwi. I think I did. Strawberry kiwi. This was, I'm thinking the wrong week. Oh my gosh. I got too many Kool-Aid colors floating around in my brain. Okay. Last week, this was strawberry kiwi and peach mango. This one here, this one actually was the lemon lime and the strawberry lemonade. Oops. Sorry about that, you guys. Maybe I should. Okay. I'm going to have to start tagging them. I obviously can't rely on my memory. So lemon lime, strawberry lemonade. Okay. That's the winner for this week. Still the watermelon. I'll just call it watermelon, maybe. Anyways, this was the strawberry kiwi. Oh my gosh. I think so. You know what? I'm just gonna carry on. I'll figure them out again. I'll have to look at my pictures and under the comment. I will clarify for sure. Anyways, this one here was last week's winner. This is how it caked up, and it kind of muted the colors. I know, what will we do with, I know, I need to start labeling things, and not, I think I know what they are, and then I think now I have got them mixed up. Anyways, I'll sort it out later. We'll clarify them again next week, maybe. How's that? Anyways, look at this, you guys. This is last week's cast on. I am doing a double moss stitch, and I'm really, really liking how this is stitching up. It is, I like it. It's not pooling, at least not yet. It is looking really, really pretty. So I'm doing a knit two, purl two, knit two, purl two, knit two, purl two all the way across. I put on 24 stitches and I'm repeating the row twice. So knit two, purl two, knit two, purl two, knit two, purl two. And then when I come back, I'm just knitting or purling exactly what I see. When I get to the back to the right side, then I'm switching up. Whatever was a knit is now becomes a purl. So a double moss stitch, and I really, really like it. I like the texture. I'm loving the colors. I'm loving how it's knitting up. Loving the fact that I'm not getting any pooling yet. It's going so good. Going really good so far. So I'm really, really happy. I have got, I don't know. How many inches do I have done? I was trying to figure out I wanted to go just a skinny scarf, so 100-gram ball would give me a nice length of a scarf. So what is that I'm at? So I've got 10 inches done. And what am I about? I think I'm about 5 inches across. Oh, 6. Oh, that's even better. So it is 6. There. So 6 inches across. So I think that'll work out good. Just a nice long skinny scarf, be able to kind of wrap it and kind of cross it in front. So I'm really happy. I'm liking how this has turned. I have to say, I knit a couple of rows and then I stop and admire it. So I will post some pictures because the color is not showing up completely true to form here on the screen. It's a little bit brighter. It's a little darker in real life. So I think I've got some better pictures as I've been knitting it up. So I will post those and you can see the true color. But so far, my little Kool-Aid dyeing experiment, I'm been really happy. I've been happy with how the colors have turned out as I've been dyeing it. How like color fast the colors are. Things haven't been no colors been rinsing out as I've been dyeing it, which has been really nice. And then to see how it's knitting up, I'm really, really, really happy with that. So I think I will possibly do some more dyeing because I happen to be in the end of the city with the store that sells Kool-Aid. And I bought a few more packages just so I could play around. I don't know if I will get it done in the next couple of weeks because I want to play around with just using some food coloring. And then I want to do some acid dyeing too. So I don't know. Kool-Aid may happen. It may get done later in the summer, or it may just go in my stash and be ready for next year because you never know. Kool-Aid seems to be kind of hit and miss whether we can get it or not here. So if it stays for till next summer, that would be totally fine too. But I picked up some more strawberry kiwi and strawberry lemonade because I really liked both of those. Some more mixed berry, which is the blue, and mango. I have not dyed with mango, just straight mango. I did peach mango, but not mango. And I really want to see what this color is like. I'm just feeling that it's going to be, I'm going to absolutely love it. So I bought more of it. And I bought more pineapple because the yellow was wonderful. So, anyways, I've got more Kool-Aid ready to go. And well, since we're talking about dyeing, maybe I'll just show this to you right now. I started, oh my gosh, this is heavy. I started a solar dyeing project on Saturday, quite literally, as Cheryl and I were podcasting. I got up, we were chatting, and I was talking about that. Oh, well, maybe I should just plunk in a skein of classic wool that had like in the ball, I should say. So I got up while Cheryl and I were podcasting, and I went into the kitchen and I put the skein of or the ball of classic wool into um, um, a bowl of water just to soak. So I got it started while we were podcasting. So it sat out for a couple of days in the sun, and you can tell, look at the water up here. Totally, totally clear. So what I did was this is just one ball of classic wool. So I just literally just took the ball band off it. So it looked just like a ball like this. And I put it in the bowl of just clear water to soak. And it took a little bit. It was a lot harder to soak this down in the water and get it to stay there than it does like with just a skein. So I did I put, the measuring cup I think it was a measuring cup in the bowl to kinda hold this up against the side and just to kind of, like, keep it in one spot so I could kinda keep pushing it down. But it didn't take too long. Once it got about halfway wet through, I did turn it over and kinda squish it down to get the other side. And once the whole ball was wet, I just just really carefully just put it in. And I think that time, before I put the ball in, I did put the Kool-Aid in. I put one package of, this is again the Tropical Punch. I know that for sure. It's the blue package and it's what turns red as soon as it hits the water. So I put that in, it all dissolved, the water was red. I put the skein in, just put the lid on, and just set it out on the patio table in the full sun. And it it took up all the dye, but the top part of the ball was a really, really light pink because because again, when you put it in the water, it didn't want to like submerge, right? Part of it kind of kept wanting to pop up. So it just got lightly covered with dye. So I left that sit there with one package of Kool-Aid in there. And then I thought, oh, I think I wanted it a little darker. And I wanted to see if more dye would kind of hopefully work its way into the center of the ball. So on day 2, I just opened the top and I took another package of Tropical Punch and just sprinkled it on top. And at first I thought I might get some speckling because it looked like some of the powder landed on top of the ball of yarn. But then it just kind of, I just kind of lightly, just kind of, you know, just kind of jiggled the jar back and forth, and it pretty much all dissolved, and I don't see any signs of speckling on top. And I would have been fine with that. I was just really curious to see what would happen if I put more of the dye powder and it just kind of absorbed on top. But really, from what I'm looking at here, it looks pretty consistent, doesn't it? All the way around. Um, Yeah, and what I found with the Tropical Punch is there's a lot of dye in that powder too. So you get a fairly strong dye bath with that. So, um, yeah, so that is my little experiment there. I'm going to rinse this out tonight. Oh, Anne says it looks like a tomato. It does. This tropical, yeah, Tropical Punch gives you the nicest red, I think. Definitely a nicer red than the cherry. So anyways, that is that. That was my little experiment, and it hasn't been, well, it has been hot. I think it was about 27 degrees today. So for you guys in the US, I'm not exactly sure what that is. But so it's warm. We've got a heat warning out now for the next couple of days. The next couple of days are going to be over 30 degrees, and with the humidity, they're going to feel like 40-degree days again. So they're going to be like sweltering hot days. So this was dyed with just a regular hot summer day, not the crazy extreme heat. So I'm curious to see what it will do, because at first I had thought about popping it into my car because you know how hot your car gets. But I didn't do that because I thought I just wanted to see if any dye rinses out of here just from a couple of days of sitting on just a normal hot day. I don't think it will. I think it's probably gotten hot enough inside the jar that it will be fine. So we will see. Then I think I'm going to um, dye again the next couple of days when it is really, really hot, just for fun, just because might as well make use of these like really hot temperatures, right? So I saw, oh, hi, Sally. Sally asked, will I unwrap it so it can dry? You can, and I have done that before. I've let it dry kind of partially. Well, I probably have done it either way. I'm just thinking I should find my other Swift for that. Anyways, you can. I've done it both ways. I've kind of let it partially dry and then put it on and reskeined it and tied it in a couple places and laid it out because it will dry a lot faster. But I have left it in the ball to dry, but it does take a lot longer to do that. I probably if I was saying what is the better way to do it or what you guys should probably do, so I would say I'd probably reskein it so it will dry faster. But I'm also thinking that I want to use my old Swift. I think I did keep my old Swift. Remember, I had the old plastic one that I was hating? It was catching all the yarn on it and it was just a pain. And I think I kept it. I probabprobly should have just gotten rid of it. I have my nice wooden one now. So I don't know if I want to put wet yarn on my wooden Swift. Probably would be fine because no dye should come out of it. So I don't really want to dye my Swift. That would maybe not be good, but I think it should be fine. So I'm going to look around. I'm sure I kept my old, I had a Knit Picks, the blue plastic umbrella Swift. That one I would use that to reskein wet yarn for sure. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what this ball is going to look like because like I think who was it, Liz said it looks like a tomato. It does because the outside is pretty uniform, but inside I'm sure should never say for 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some white in there. There's going to be like some shades of pink and some white as we get closer to the center. I think that's going to be my prediction. We'll see if I'm right or see if I'm completely wrong. Maybe 2 packages of dye will have gotten in there a little bit more, and so we maybe won't have as much variation. I don't know. It's going to be a fun little surprise to see what is at the center of that ball. Okay, let's talk quickly about what other knitting I did. This was the bulk of my knitting. I have to say, I've got this in Cheryl's bag again, the divided shawl bag, and I am yet to actually use this bag as it is intended with 2 balls, like doing a 2-color shawl. Um, I always have so much stuff in here. It's amazing how much stuff. This should be a whole segment every Monday night. What does Louise have in her shawl knitting bag? And I actually stuck in a shawl. I was out and about quite a bit this weekend, so I just had a really lightweight shawl to put around my shoulders just to keep the sun off. So it folds up really nice and fits in here. I had my European road trip shawl with me as well, but in the heat of the day, even though it's cotton, it's heavier than this one and it's warm. So I switch out when it's really, really hot. I keep this lightweight one on. And then we were at the beach a couple of nights ago. And then when it gets cooler in the evening, then I switch out and I put my knitted shawl on. No, no, there's no creamers. I actually did take the creamer out. Last week I had a creamer, but I do have a a tripod. I have a tripod in my knitting bag because that seems appropriate. My notions pouch. I still have this um the European needle sizer. It does have millimeters on there, but it doesn't. Oh, it tells me right on the bottom of it, you guys. It says metric and imperial needle sizes. But you know what? I would have thought imperial might have meant US sizes. Anyways, this is a very confusing needle sizer. But I do actually have my shawl in here too, amongst all these other odd little bits. I do have my shawl. And I knit. Oh, I have something else in here. I have a little darning egg. We on one of our trips to the beach, there was also an antique store close by and went in, and it was the most interesting little antique store. It was jam-packed as most antique stores are. They had a huge selection, the biggest selection of milk glass, and I collect milk glass, you guys. I was in my glory. They had a whole Christmas section, which my mother absolutely loved. And there was quite a bit of crafting stuff there. There actually was a spinning wheel. There was a box that was filled with darning eggs, and I found this little cute one. And I thought this will be perfect. Some of the other darning eggs seem really large, and I didn't have a nice small one. And on the top here, it's stamped, and I think it's supposed to be like a scenery picture. I don't know if it's like Main Street or a harbor or something, and I can just make out the words underneath. It says something Edinburgh on it. And one of the knitters that I showed this to said, wouldn't it be interesting to know the story of this? Was this something that a knitter from here, Canada, took a vacation to Edinburgh and brought this back? Or was it somebody who immigrated from Edinburgh and came here and brought this with them in their knitting bag? It's like, oh, wouldn't that be fun to be able to know what the story was behind this? But anyways, I thought it was really, really cute. So it's in my knitting bag too. Anyways, enough of my knitting bag stories. Let's look at the shawl. This is what I knit on quite a bit. Oh my goodness, I'm not even finished my row. This was makes it a little trickier to see the whole thing. Oh, Hotel Edinburgh. Okay, Sherry, how in the world did you know that? Don't tell me you could read that on the screen. Now I have to look again. It does. Now that I know what it says, that's exactly what it says. Okay, Sherry, how did you know that? Okay, now you have to tell me. Anyway, okay, you type that out for me, and I'm going to keep chatting. So my shawl has good news, bad news. It's all really good news. I put a stitch marker on here so I could see how much I got done. I moved this last Monday night after we finished chatting. So that's where I was. You read it on the screen? I can't even read it in person, Sherry. Okay, I can now that I know what I'm reading. Okay, well, that's good. Thank you. So, okay, so do you think maybe it was a souvenir then? It kind of sounds like maybe a souvenir, but who has a souvenir? Who has a hotel's name on a darning egg? It's a fantastic idea. So, anyway, so there I am. And look how much I got done. I'm like really happy with how much I've got finished on here. That seems like a lot of progress for me. And my ball is almost finished. So, what I wanted to do, oh, I'm really almost done. I'm excited. I want to do this as a two skein shawl. So I'm going to keep going. But my goal was on the weekend was to try to get this ball finished. Mm, almost did. Almost did. So, and this is as long as the whole length of the scarf, the shawl. So it's getting nice and long. And the width. So it's getting there. I'm going to keep going on it because I do want it to be a little bit bigger. I have one version. This is the Orange Crush shawl, which name, I don't know if I'm going to change the name or keep it just because we've been calling it that for such a long time. But anyways, this is going to be the pattern that we're going to do as a knit along for the Fiber Friends in August. And you can do a one skein or a two skein version. 4mm needle is what I used, but of course it's a shawl, so you can kind of up it. I don't know. I would say go up instead of down, probably. I like things to be loose and drapey, and then, of course, you'll get a little bit more size out of it if you go bigger needle. Anyway, so that is what I knit a lot on because I was really trying to get that ball finished. So, oh, hi, Sam. Is Nikki here? I saw Nikki was here earlier. She's probably kicking back right now, working on a really fun project and just relaxing. So, okay, the last thing that I had planned to chat to you guys about was the Flexi Flips needles. So, I switched out the Collage square needle. I had the soft cable. Yes. Do we want to go there? Is there anybody here who has not heard that sad story? Let me see what I got here. So this is the yarn. I can't remember the colorway. I can't remember anything. This was the rainbow yarn. I was going to say, can't remember anything about it, but yes, I can. It was rainbow yarn that I got from Adrian because I think she lost a bet and she owed me a skein of yarn. And this is what I what was up for grabs. And it is really fun, really, really pretty. So let's talk a little bit about this needle yet again. This was, yes, a very sad disappointment needle, but I want to, yeah, we'll talk about this. So Collage square needles. So this is my little public service announcement for needles. If you guys come across these needles anywhere in your travels, they are a local company, kind of localish to us, as in they're in Ontario. Cheryl and I found these guys when we went to that show outside of Ottawa. This company is in Belleville, and they have needles, and their needles are wonderful. Just don't get the circular needles with the soft cable. The firm cables are fantastic. The soft ones are terrible. Um, and they are. And I have tried to like them, and very, very, very rarely do I ever say anything bad about anything knitting related, because most times everything has its place. It had, like acrylic yarn versus wool, right? I mean, a lot of us would maybe prefer wool, and I don't want to say anything bad about acrylic because it has its place, right? It is more affordable if you are on a little bit tighter budget one week, or or you just don't have a lot of yarn or money to spend on your hobby because you got young kids, or whatever, right? So in that instance, buying an affordable acrylic is absolutely what you do, right? And same with needles. You buy what is in your budget. And sometimes a pointy needle or a blunter needle, most times I'm like, yeah, I have my preference, but whatever I have, I can make it work, and it's fine. This, unfortunately, is the only thing that think I have ever come across that I just cannot knit with. Even something like a Susan Bates Arrow, some of those really cheaper circular needles that you would find at Lens Mills or Walmart. And there again, typically with circular needles, you get what you pay for. If your budget is, really tight and that's all you can afford, you can make it work. It makes your knitting experience a little less enjoyable for sure, but you can still knit with them. This one here was virtually unknittable. And a couple of ladies at the show had said to me that they preferred the firm cable over the soft cable, but they never expanded on it. So I thought it was just a personal preference thing, not like it's impossible to knit with, would never buy it again kind of thing. And I thought, okay, well, even if the soft cable is kind of wonky on a little 9-inch needle, how bad can it get, right? Because there's not very much of it there. You can make it work, right? No, can't. I was even knitting off this needle onto my new Addy Flexi Flips, and it was labor intensive to get the stitches off it. So, anyways, just remember, if you ever come across these, the needle tips are lovely. They're square and they have a really, really nice feel to them. The tips are pointy. They're nice. So they have double points, they have straights, they have interchangeable sets. Just stay away from the soft cable. The firm ones are absolutely lovely to work with. I've knit 2 projects. I finished one, and I've got one on needle somewhere. And I really, really like those and would buy those again in a heartbeat, hands down. They're a little more expensive. They're a high-end needle, but they do some community work, and they donate money from the sale of the needles, goes back to helping people with developmental disabilities find employment. So that is a cause very near and dear to my heart. So I don't mind spending a little extra knowing that it's doing some good in the community. So anyways, firm cables, always firm cables. So I knit this onto my new long Flexi Flip needles. So this is Nikki's. So Nikki that's here in the chat, Nikki Knits. I'm starting out doing her even heel sock pattern. It's a free pattern and she is doing a year-long knit along with this pattern. So even heel socks 2022, I think is the hashtag that you can post your pictures on Instagram. And Nikki will be doing it. So I think every quarter, every quarter. She just did one, I think, the beginning of June, July, end of June. So there should be another one in about 3 months, and then at the end of the year. Um, so yeah, so if you want to give her pattern a try, I would highly recommend it. Everybody that's knit it so far has loved doing her version of the heel. So I'm excited to actually get to the heel so I can try it. So far, I've just been enjoying this beautiful rainbow yarn. I've knit a couple more rows now that I have it onto these Addy Flexi Flips, the longs. So now this little story, I had this on, no, wait, here we are. I have another sock here. This one here. This is another kind of rainbow sock. And this one here is on, I don't know, would you call them the regular flexi flips? And these are the ones that Karen sent me because she was not loving them and she sent them to me. And I love them. I have to say, I love them. It did take a little bit, to get used to how to hold them and which way, if you want the points up, you want them down, and just so they're not kind of poking in your palm. But I really like knitting with these. I will definitely use these again. But everybody was kind of, again, love-hate relationship with the Flexi Flips, right? Either you loved them or you hated them, and most people did not like them for some reason. So, somebody in Instagram or Facebook had left a message saying that they really struggled with the Flexi Flips, but the long ones were a game changer for them. So I immediately ordered a set because I thought, okay, I really want to try them. So it worked out perfect because I could get rid of that soft cable circular needle and get back to working on Nikki's even heel socks. So here they are, and they're long. They were longer, really. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think they're about a couple of inches longer. These ones here work out to be about 8 inches long. They're not exact. They're kind of, I think, about 8 1/4 or something. Okay. Where did my tape measure go? Yeah, here it is. I'm like, okay, can't have gone too far. We just measured a shawl with it. So let's see here. I was doing a little looking and I think looking on somebody's site. I don't Jimmy Bean Wills maybe sells them. And they were talking about what the true measurement was and the true size was. So these would probably be classified as an 8-inch needle, but they are about almost 8.5 inches. So they're a little longer than 8 inches. Let's see what the long one is. So these long ones, I showed them to you last week, right? And said how they're textured. They kind of have these grooves on here. And somebody said, I don't know, Liz, did you leave me a message about this? Okay, these ones are about 11 3/4, just under 12 inches for the long ones. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so we've got, yeah, so there's about 3 inches longer. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the ribbed part is supposed to be. So somebody left me a message and I saw the beginning of the message, but I didn't read it because I wanted to knit with them first. And I saw something that said, Louise, the textured part is for, and I stopped reading. One website, I saw something that said for massaging your fingertips. Has anybody heard that? I thought that was kind of interesting. If somewhat odd, because I'm thinking, okay, it doesn't think it really massages your fingertips. I do know that when I first knit my first couple of stitches, it was really a very strange feeling to oh, I just reading Sherry's okay, we'll have to go back to the darning egg. It was definitely a very strange feeling the first couple of stitches with this, because as you put can you hear it? Wait, can you hear that? It's pretty quiet. But you can hear these little bumps because it's bumpy, right? Normally, everything that we have, we're all about smooth. We want our needle tips to be smooth. We want the joins to be smooth. And this on purpose has got, can you see them there? Those little bumps? Those are actually are like little like speed bump kind of things. So, yeah, so I haven't done any more really looking. I was trying to find the Addy site to see what they say because the needles are squared just like the collage needles are, and they are supposed to make more even stitches and be easier on your wrists. I have, knock on wood, I have no wrist problems, so I can't tell any difference between knitting with square needles versus regular needles. So I don't know. Maybe I know there was a review on one of the sites, I think the Collage site, and it was a knitter saying that, oh, sorry, I think I've got yarn fuzz. um, saying that she did have knitting or like wrist problems, and the square needles made a big difference to her. So maybe that is something if you do suffer with some wrist problems, you might notice that, but I haven't noticed anything about the squares. Um, but the bumps, once you kind of get used to it, um, yeah, I mean, even just sliding your yarn up and down, you can feel them. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting take. Is it to massage your fingers? I don't know. So I'm gonna have to do a little looking to see. It is kind of fun. It is like you can almost play with it, right? Because you can feel it. So let me see. But so anyways, the length. I don't know. They're long. After I ordered them, I did start thinking that maybe I should have gotten a larger size, like something like a 4.5 or a 5 millimeter. So with length, I could utilize the whole length to do a cowl in the round or a hat in the round. But I was really just wanting them for socks. So I thought I would just go with sock size. So I got a 2.25 millimeter. The length is kind of, I don't know. It's okay. It again, you have to be watch how you're holding them so it doesn't kind of get in your way, but they're okay. Now, to be honest, I like knitting with them, but I also really like knitting with the regular flexi flips. So in the flexi flips, the needle tips, they've got two ends on them. I think this is called like the Addy Turbo end, which is a little blunter, and then this is the rocket end, which is pointier, like a lace tip. It's pointier. Either end, I'm fine with. These ones here have the blunt and pointier end on them, but I don't know if it's just me. But on this set, I I find them harder. I don't see as much of a difference between the 2 ends as I do on the other ones. Must just be me. But, knitting wise, they're fine. And to be honest, I don't even worry about which end. I just knit with whatever I have, and they're both fine. But you can, if you are certainly wanting one or the other, you can flip them around so you've got the right point for your knitting end. And as far as like which ones I like better, the regular flexi flips or the longer ones and the squared, tips, I honestly don't have a preference. I like them both. Um, yeah, I I wish I had something more exciting to tell you that I absolutely love the one over the other, but they're both fine. Um, they're both fine. The textured needle tip, the longer needle tip, the shorter end, I'm actually fine with either one of them. So now I just have 2 sets of sock needles, which actually works out perfect because I always seem to be casting on more and more and have less needles. So there, that one's so you've got the length. So I don't know. I now Very Pink Knits did a review on them, and I have not watched it because I wanted to knit with it. My gosh, this looks like kind of a weird contraption, doesn't it? With all the length hanging out here. So I wanted to okay, this is reminding me of like a spider legs or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I haven't looked at Very Pink Knits tutorials yet, but I know that her review was that she really liked them. So, and I like them too. Can't say anything bad about them, but I like the short ones too. So I'm not sure why you would want one over the other. The long obviously is a little long, which might get in your way. The shorter ones are a little short, and then if you have trouble holding them, they sometimes can poke into your hands. So either way, I think you just still have to get used to holding on to them. Okay, I'm back to the darning egg here because I saw Sherry. Let me back up here a little bit. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're getting close to the hour mark already. Okay. Sherry said, when you get a chance, check and see if the little nib on the bottom of your darning mushroom unscrews. It looked like it might be a needle holder as well. She said she's been Googling. I don't think it unscrews. No, it doesn't. It kind of looks like it could because it's got that groove there, but no, it's solid. Oh, but that would be kind of smart though, wouldn't it, to be able to store your darning needles in there. I know it's because I know it's cute. I always think of it as like a top or something, right? With that little tip on the end. But no, it doesn't look like this unscrews. Oh, does this unscrew? No, no, that looks like it's on there solid too. No, not this one, but maybe some of them do because um, that would be a good thing, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to just read some of the comments that you guys have been putting in here. So Sherry says she's got the Rocket Square needles too. They are noisier. Oh, and they feel cheap, but she really likes them. Okay, because that's what I was noticing on the some of the ads for some of the yarn companies that were selling them. They were saying the textured needles that you have come to love are now available as a flexi flip. If you don't like DPNs, here they are. You're gonna love them, kind of thing, right? And I haven't used Addy needles in quite a while, like years ago, 15 years ago or something. That was all I bought because there wasn't high end Chowgu. It was really the Addies were the high end needle, like were the only ones. At least that were in our local yarn stores. So I had kind of converted everything over to those, but they didn't have the lace tip or the rocket tip. They were the blunter end. But at the time, that's what you had. You That's what you had. And it was all about the cables. The cables and the joins were so wonderful that I guess we weren't really worrying about the needle tips being not as pointy as a lot of us like. Um, but then after that, then after the Chow and High Highs came out, then that's kind of what I gravitated towards because I like the pointier needle tip. So I hadn't really been keeping up with my Addy needles to know that the textured needles or the square needles had been out like with other circular needles. So I hadn't tried them. The yarn slide, okay, so Sherry's also saying you really like them. The yarn slides just the right amount, and I find my hands don't cramp as much. Okay, so there you go. Maybe the bumps are for easier grip, Sally says. That could be. That could be. My first thought was, oh my gosh, okay, wait. I got all three needles got live stitches on them, so I better be careful or I'll be dropping stitches. I mean, my first thought is it was just to kind of catch your stitches so your stitches wouldn't slide off. Kind of like, but so say like those cable needles. Knit Picks has these wooden cable needles that look so pretty. They're wood and they're all different color, like they're set needle sets, right? That have the different colors in them. So they look pretty, but they have these grooves in the wood. And at first thought, you're like, oh, that would be fantastic because the stitch will hold, you slide your stitch or two onto that cable needle, you put it the front or the back, you knit your stitches. You don't have to worry because that groove is going to hold those stitches. Well, it does, but it holds it too well, at least in my opinion. And then when you come to knit off there, or you want to slide them back onto your needle, or whatever, however you want to work those next stitches on the cable needle, then you got to deal with those grooves, and the stitches are like stuck in there, and it's time consuming. Not like it's taking you 20 minutes or something, but it takes you a s- second, a minute, or whatever to get those stitches out of the grooves and get them to where you can knit them. So I never ever use that. So that was kind of my first thought, is that okay, is that kind of the same thing where this you just make sure that your stitches aren't going to fall off? Will it hold them? I don't know. But maybe easier grip, possibly. I don't know. We'll have to see. But okay, so that's good though. So Sherry, so you like the square ones. So the square ones, do they have the texture on them too, Sherry? I'm guessing they do, right? Um, yes. So anyways, okay. Oh, okay. So Sherry's saying you think that's right. So an easier grip. So more like ergonomical. So maybe, yeah. So maybe you're feeling you've got something to grip onto, so you're not gripping as tight, which will be less strain on your hands. Seems all very high tech for a pair of needles, doesn't it? But it's kind of interesting how they have put so much thought into making them flexible versus having a fixed DPN. It's kind of fun that way, isn't it? Okay, Liz, you're still trying to wrap your head around massaging fingertips. I know, right? But I don't know. I don't know. Do you get maybe there's something to that? I am not sure. Emma said, "Oh, those cable needles are horrible." Yes, I know, Emma, they are, aren't they? There was somebody, we were doing a group order, and somebody was wanting cable needles, and I don't think she really cares. She just thought, "Oh, these look pretty," and I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Don't get those ones." So she went for like the J hook ones or something, because I know they look pretty, and so Emma says she has them for display only. Okay, sure. Yes, your needles are textured. You think the texture also sort of massages your fingertips as you knit with them? Well, I mean, I guess because it's there, maybe. I don't know. All right, I will just have to think that. I mean, maybe it does. I mean, my fingertips do feel kind of tingly as I'm sitting here kind of playing with them. So maybe that is a thing. Oh, Susie, you have a set of the collage somewhere. They did help when I was having trouble with my hands. No idea where they are in the house right now. I can relate to that. Okay, so then it is true. Okay, so that's good. And see, and luckily, I haven't had any trouble with my hands or my wrists. So I guess that's why I'm not really seeing any true benefit to a regular needle or a square needle. But that is good to know that it actually does help, which I have a hard time wrapping my head around that because I always come back to like your wrists, like your hands and everything. It's more like how you're holding. Like if you're holding and knitting like this with your hands like bent right up, that's going to cause a lot of strain. You should have them out so you can't see it on screen, but like a 90-degree angle so your hands should be kind of at waist height as opposed to lifting them up here. Up here, you're going to cause a lot of strain. If you've got them at waist height, having a nice 90-degree angle, that's going to cause less strain. So to me, I'm thinking how we're holding our arms would be more important than a square or round needle. But maybe, obviously, if you guys are saying it's definitely helping, then that is really, really good to know. So fantastic. That is good. So look at that. I know we are, it is 9 o'clock on the dot. We have been chatting for an hour, you guys. This night has like zoomed by. And I'm gonna take a scroll back here in the comments. So, what are you guys working on this Monday? It's Monday, and I am on vacation, you guys. This has been a fantastic Monday for me, I do have to say. It was lovely not having to get up, other than I woke up with a migraine, but um, it was nice not to have to deal with a migraine and get to work on time. So I was able to have a nice leisurely morning, got rid of the migraine, and then the rest of the day has been great. I've spent it doing a little bit of knitting, a little bit of reading, puttered around in my garden, went for a walk. I could get used to my Mondays being like this. And then I get to come and sit and chat to you guys. And now I'm going to, I don't know. I might probably put something on Netflix and just keep knitting. So, okay, this is driving me crazy, you guys, that I've mixed up all these colors with the Kool-Aid. I'm going to go make labels. That's what I'm going to go do. Anyways, I am going to cast on tonight's yarn. Where did it go? Okay, you guys, seriously. I have got such a tiny little space here in this corner, and I still lose things. Crazy. Anyways, here we go. Here it is. So, the watermelon yarn, I'm going to skein this up. So this is going to be the last look of it in the skein. I'm going to put it into a ball. I'm going to cake it up. That's what I'm going to do. And I am going to try. This may be, oh my gosh. Okay, these needles, I don't know. They're a little bit long. This may be the week. This may be the week. This may be the only week that I actually have a chance of getting my New Start Monday project caked up, cast on, knit, and finished in 1 week. I'm on vacation, so and most of my vacation plans have fallen through for the week. So I don't have a lot of plans. So this could be the week, you guys, that I get this knit up. It's going to be a plan. I actually already have it kind of planned out how much I need to knit every day to have this finished for next Monday. So we'll see. Will it happen? Will it not? Probably not. But if you never try, if you never strive for something, then it definitely won't happen. So I'm going to give it a try and see if I can come back with a scarf, because I think that's what I want to do. I'm liking the idea of doing scarves, and I may do this one. I may find a different stitch pattern. Probably, I don't know. I'm liking the double moss stitch, but maybe I'll have to do something, find a different stitch pattern to see how, oh, there, that color looks good. Um, yeah, maybe I'll look for a little bit different stitch pattern. It's kind of tricky because when you got the variegated yarn, you don't want your stitch pattern to get lost, but I like it to have a little bit of texture, something a little bit more than just garter stitch. So we'll see. I will play around with that the next couple of days as well. So guys, I think we will wrap it up. Thank you so much for voting. I love it. I do like the ketchup and mustard though, so maybe it'll come back next week. And all of you guys that voted for it, maybe you'll have to, stack the deck in your favor. Go to Facebook and Instagram and stories, and you can vote 3 times for it. How's that? Then you can make sure it wins. Okay, guys, it has been so much fun chatting with you. If you have any comments about the Addi Flexi Flips, the square needles, the texture, do you think it massages your fingers? Now I want to know anybody who actually knits with them, if you think it does massage. I'm curious. Now I'm going to knit with them and I'll report back, see if my fingers feel extra relaxed after knitting these socks. Thanks, guys, for such a wonderful start to my Monday. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you guys all next Monday. Bye for now, guys. Happy knitting.